Fasting is the hardest part of Lent. You might have heard people talk about giving up chocolate for Lent or giving up Diet Coke for Lent. And you can do that, but it's really superficial understanding of what fasting in Lent is. The whole idea of fasting as a spiritual activity rather than a health activity is that every time you feel hunger, it's a reminder to you to pray or to think about your spirituality or to think about your behavior, how you can improve it, how you can come more in line with how Jesus taught us to behave. Fasting in Lent is actually a focus. It's one of the pillars of Lent. And there are a lot of ways you can do this. First of all, you can fast food or you can fast behavior. So if you know that you are spending way too much time on video games and you want to give yourself a break, try to make sure you can still separate, you can fast from video games. If you know that you snack too much, and if it really is a matter of you drink too much Diet Coke, that it becomes not a superficial, I'm just going to give up this for Lent, but something that is really deeply held, this is not good for me. I'm going to give it up, and hopefully I'll be able to rid myself of the habit as I go through the season of Lent. Another thing you can do with food is actually a weekly Lenten fasting. I saw this done with some teenagers years ago, and it's really kind of cool. Every week you give up something else. So, for instance, the first week with Ash Wednesday, you might give up chicken, and then the second week, starting after the first Sunday of Lent, you might decide you're going to give up milk. So you give up milk on top of giving up chicken. In the third week, you might give up meat, steak, for instance. So that's giving up chicken and milk and steak. So it has an accumulative effect so that by the time you get to Holy Week, you have stopped eating about 5 or 6 different foods and you can really focus on your diet. Now here's the thing about fasting this way, though, that you have to take into consideration. You are probably not the one who does the grocery shopping in your house, and you're probably not the one who makes most of the meals. Everything else I'm going to tell you about this Lenten journey is yours for your private time. Fasting is the only time you need to bring in other people, and it's a courtesy to the people who do the grocery shopping and cook your meals. Let them know this is your plan. They might have some ideas that will help you fast. They might want to participate too, so this becomes a family thing. But do them the courtesy. And also give them a reason for why you want to do this. If you want to show them this video as your reason why, that is perfectly okay. If you have other reasons why you want to do this, if you want to kind of get a little more spiritual yourself, that is a great reason. And the person who does the food and the groceries in your house does not have to understand. They don't have to agree. They don't have to share it. They just have to respect it and help you make it possible. We're talking a 7-week period. That's all this is. It's not that long. And it's going to make you focus on your relationship with food. And it might give you a healthier body, especially if the foods you're giving up are junk food. So maybe the way you want to do it is one week you give up chips, and the next week you add chocolate, and the next week you add pop. That's okay too. The whole idea is that when you are missing it, when you are feeling it, when you want it, you'll realize you were doing this for a purpose. And that's so that you're getting all the clutter out of your way, so that in your prayer and meditation time, in your spiritual time, you can feel more connected with God. Now, something else that you need to add to this is if you see on Sundays here, there's nothing written in. That's because Sundays are the free days. Now, you can either choose to indulge yourself with one of the foods you gave up, or you can not think about it and just eat whatever's presented to you, or you can keep the discipline. There are no rules, and this is your journey, no one else's. So that gives you some flexibility. Main thing is, do not compromise your health in this. You are a growing human being who needs every bit of nutrition that you can get. You just don't need a lot of sugar and fat and excess. So it's a really great time to develop that habit of getting rid of the foods, even just for a little while, that you know do not make you feel that great or that are not going to give you a healthy body. Behavior is the same thing. It gives you a time to get rid of the behaviors you don't like or the behaviors you'd like to change and put in place different habits that you want to work on. And when it comes to behavior, just one more thing. This is a behavior you identify. If an adult in your house says, I want you to play less video games or fewer video games, that is not you choosing. So that is not something you can give up. You have to be the one to decide what this is. You just can't give up homework. That's but the only thing you cannot give up for Lent.